So now we're going to look at the vocabulary of triangles as it applies to algebra. So the question is, how do you find the measures of each side of triangle ABC? Well, if we look at triangle ABC, we see that side AC is congruent to side CB. So in order to find out what each side is equal to, we have to figure out what x is. And we're going to use the information that AC is equal to CB. So algebraically, we take the expression that represents AC, which is 4x plus 1, and we set it equal to CB, which is 5x minus 0.5. In order to solve for x, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides. So I get 1 equals x minus 0.5. So I'm going to add 0.5 to each side. So I get x equals 1.5. So we have to use the fact that this is an isosceles triangle in order to solve for x. Once we find x, we're going to substitute it into each side. And this is how we're going to check our work and to answer the question. So solving for AB, I get 9 times 1.5 minus 1. That's 12.5. And I would do that for each side. For side AC, if I do 4 times 1.5 plus 1, I get 7. And for side CB, when I do 5 times 1.5 minus 0.5, I get 7 as well. So I check my work because I see that AC is congruent to CB and AB is not going to be congruent to the other two because they weren't marked like that. The next question, how do you find the measures of the sides of equilateral triangle FGH? Well, equilateral means that all the sides are congruent to each other. So all three sides are congruent. So FG is equal to GH, which is equal to FH. Now, unfortunately, we can't set an equation up like this with two equal signs. So in this case, you pick any two sides and set them equal to each other because that's what works algebraically. Two equal signs in one equation does not work. So while it's true that 2y plus 5 is equal to 3y minus 3, which is also equal to 5y minus 19, you have to choose two of these in order to solve the equation. So if you do 2y plus 5 equals 3y minus 3, you should get the same answer as when you choose 3y minus 3 equal to 5y minus 19. So go ahead and take a second and solve for y. Pause the video and see if you get what I get. Okay, and you should get y equals 8. If you don't, raise your hand and ask. There's probably something going on with your algebra there. And the final question is, how do you find the measures of each side? So you're going to substitute that y in, which is 8, to each side length. Oops. And verify that they are in fact all the same. And when I put 2 times 8, I get 16 plus 5 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24 minus 3, which is 21. And finally, 5 times 8 is 40 minus 19 is 21. So I did the question correctly. For the next part, I would like for you to glue this part, these pictures, into your notebook, and I want you to find the sum of the angles in each of these triangles. Sum means add the angles together. So pause the video, take a second to find out what each angle measure is, or the sum of all the angle measures. So that brings us to what is the triangle sum theorem. And if you noticed, for each triangle, when you add the three angles together, they came out to 180 degrees. So let's say we have a triangle ABC, and I would prefer that you use a ruler to make your nice straight sides. Then the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C, so add three angles together in a triangle and they will equal 180 degrees. And that is the triangle sum theorem, that all three angles of a triangle have a sum of 180 degrees. So for the next three questions, I want you to copy this picture using a nice straight ruler to make your triangles. We're going to answer the question, how do you find the measure of angle 1 in triangle JLK? So go ahead and copy this picture into your notebook and write down this question. And to find the measure of angle 1 in JLK, this is where linear pair is going to come in handy. Linear pair is two angles that have a sum of 180 degrees, and they form a straight line and they're adjacent to each other. This is from chapter 2. So to find the measure of angle 1 in triangle JLK, we have to use the linear pair theorem. The linear pair theorem says that the two angles together have a sum of 180 degrees. So angle 1, we can call that x or y or whatever you want, plus 57 equals 180. So I would subtract 57 from 180. So I would get that the measure of angle 1 is equal to 123. I'm going to write that in because that's going to help us find the measure of angle 3 in triangle KJL or JLK. It's the same triangle. So to find the measure of angle 3 in triangle KJL, I use the triangle sum theorem. And that says all three angles in the triangle equal 180 degrees. So the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 1, which is 123, plus 28 is equal to 180 degrees. So you should get that the measure of angle 3 is equal to 29. Okay, so I'd like for you to answer, how can you find the measure of angle 2 in triangle LKM? So this triangle right here, LKM, using the triangle sum theorem. Pause the video and see if you get what I get. Okay, and you should get that the measure of angle 2 is equal to 52 degrees. If you didn't get that, you're not sure how, go ahead and raise your hand. So now we're going to find the value of x in the triangle to the right. Go ahead and draw a picture of the triangle to the right. And in order to find the value of x, once again, we're going to use the triangle sum theorem. And the triangle sum theorem, we can abbreviate theorem with THM. The triangle sum theorem says add all three angles together to equal 180 degrees. So we would add 6x plus 5 to 15x plus 1 to 4x minus 1. And all together, they should equal 180 degrees. So I'd like for you to take a second, combine your like terms. I'll circle them for you and underline them and solve for x. Pause the video and see if you get what I get. Okay, so I got x is 7. If you did not get that, you're not sure why, go ahead and raise your hand. And you can go one step further and substitute your x into each angle. And I got 47, 106, and 27. And you will see that 106 plus 27 plus 47 is equal to 180. All right, and the last theorem that we're going to learn about is what is the exterior angle theorem. I would probably move that down a little bit so it's not in the way of this one. And for the exterior angle theorem, let's go ahead and draw a triangle and then an exterior angle. An exterior angle is formed by extending a ray outside of the triangle, where this is the exterior angle. Let's go ahead and label our points A, B, C, and then how about a point out here, D. The exterior angle theorem is that the sum of angle A plus angle B, so the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B, equals the exterior angle. So BCD. So the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B equals the exterior angle BCD. So I will go ahead and show this to you as an example. So the two interior angles, 27 plus 52, have a sum equal to the exterior angle. So 27 and 52, 27 plus 52 is 79, so that would be the measure of angle 1. So we have the two interior angles add together and equal the exterior. So 43 and 22 would be 65. That's the angle measure for 3. Same thing with this picture right here. If we want to find angle 2, instead let's call it x. So the two interior angles, x and 71, those are your two interior angles, equal the exterior. The two interior angles have a sum equal to the exterior. So in this case, we're going to get x 21. And to clean it up a little bit, we get measure of angle 2 equals 21. So then in the last picture, let's see a little algebra with the exterior angle theorem. So exterior angle theorem says the measure of the two interior angles added together equals the exterior angle, which is 148. So go ahead and substitute angle A and B into this equation, solve for x, and then to find angle ABC, we're going to substitute our x back in. So let's start with solving for x. Go ahead and pause the video, see if you get what I get for the value of x. Okay, so angle A, which is 2x minus 15, plus angle B, which is x minus 5, so I add these two together, equals the exterior angle 148. So you should have gotten that x is 56. To answer the question, find the measure of angle ABC. The measure of angle ABC is going to equal ABC, that's here, x minus 5. So 56 minus 5. So the measure of angle ABC, your final answer is 51 degrees. Alright, last problem I'm going to leave up to you completely. Go ahead and copy the picture down. Let's find the measure of angle JKL. So once again, we're using the exterior angle theorem. We need you to solve for x, just like we did in this problem right here. So the two interior angles add together to equal the exterior. Solve for x and then find the measure of angle JKL. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you get what I get. Okay, so you should have gotten that x is 21, the measure of angle JKL is 31. If you didn't get that, raise your hand, let me know why, and we'll figure it out together. And go ahead and finish up your exit quiz. It is called Properties of Triangles.